up? It's Mike Portnoy from Next to None. You can check us out at nextttonone.net, and you're listening to BackstageAxxess.com.
Hi everyone, this is Chris with BackstageAxxess.com, and we have extraordinary teenage drummer Max Portnoy from the hot new band Next to None here with us today. Hi Max, how are you doing today?
I'm good.
Good. Welcome to BackstageAxxess.com, and thank you for taking the time to talk with us today. We appreciate it.
No problem.
So let's talk about Next to None. How did the four of you get together?
Well, I knew Chris and Ryland since first grade.
Okay.
We went to school together. We were friends, and they played instruments, and we used to jam together. There were other kids, too, that played instruments. We all used to jam together. But, I mean, as the years went on, we never had a singer or anything. And then we met Thomas in about 6th grade, and we started jamming with him, and he was, really good, and he fit in with us, so we decided to form a band together, and that's when Next to None started.
Okay. Now, you had a self-titled EP that came out, but now you have your first full-length record, A Light in the Dark. Could you tell us a little bit about how the whole deal with Inside Out came about?
Well, I mean, we recorded the album, and then once we finished recording the album, it still needs to be mixed and everything, but while that whole process was going, we were starting to think, like, we should probably bring the record to a record label or something, so we started naming some places. I mean, Inside Out was one of them, but that was kind of like the one we just really hoped to get, but we weren't really sure we would even get it because it's such a big label.
Okay.
And we shipped it to, a bunch of different labels, but Inside Out was one of the ones that, wanted us, and of course they were the ones we wanted from the beginning, so we took it to the second phase, showed any interest.
Awesome. Now, tell us a little bit about how you guys work as far as songwriting goes. Do you have a main writer? Do all four of you kind of bring ideas to the table? What's that like?
It's kind of different for different songs, but for the most part, Thomas and I write, all the music. We're the main writers, but once again, on this album, everyone kind of brought some ideas to the table, but for the most part, it was Thomas and I who wrote all the music.
Okay. Now, tell us a little about the opening track, The Edge of Sanity, because that just has so many different elements in it, and, you're opening the record with this over 9-minute, just epic piece. How did that particular song come together?
Surprisingly, that was one of the last songs we wrote, That was probably the last one we wrote before we went to the studio. And it was so intense and epic, like you said, that we were just like, we have to open the album with it. It was perfect. It had the whole building intro and everything that went to, like, the big chords and everything. And it was just every element from, like, I think that is shown on the album is kind of squished into that song. And it's a really cool thing to open with. We had so much fun, with that whole sample weird middle section. We had a lot of fun just, throwing stuff together into that. And there was the solos and everything, and then there's like heavy riffs and some screamo and some clean. So it really had like all of our different elements in one song. We thought it would be cool to open with it. Okay,
yeah, that makes sense. If that would be the one song you could pick that say this kind of is representative of what Next to None is all about, then.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, now you got a chance to work with some pretty cool people on this record. I know that Neil Morse was involved, and you had Bumblefoot on one of the tracks. Can you tell us where they made their contributions and what that whole experience was like for you?
They both made their appearance on the song The Lonely Walk, which is the ballad on the album.
Right.
And Bumblefoot did the guitar solo in it, and Neil Morse did some Mellotron stuff and string patches. And the reason we had Bumblefoot on the album was because we kind of added the solo section while we were in the studio. We had everything written prior to, when we actually started recording, but that was one of the things we kind of added while we were in the studio, and, obviously we weren't thinking about having a solo, so Ryland didn't have one. And my dad, Mike Portnoy, brought up the idea of, getting guests, so we started naming people that we would like, and Bumblefoot was one of them, so we asked him, and he said he would do it, and he did it perfectly. With Neil Morse, it's actually kind of a funny story. We were looking looking for like a mellotron sound, and the ones on Thomas's keyboard just weren't really doing it, good enough, I guess you could say. And so my dad was just like, I really like the mellotrons on the Neil Morse has, so we asked him to see what sound he uses. And after my dad emailed Neil Morse about that, he was just like, wait, why don't we just get Neil Morse to do it himself? So we asked him, and he did it too. That was really cool.
Yeah, that is a cool story. Who better to do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, you mentioned your dad, of course. Everybody knows who your dad is, Mike Portnoy. Now, he was also the producer on this album for you guys. So let me ask you, was it difficult working with your dad on the project, or did he make the whole process easier for you guys?
He made it really awesome and fun. I mean, it was so much fun being able to have him as the producer because, not only I grew up with him, obviously he's my dad, but I mean, I've known Rylan and Chris since first grade, so they also grew up with him. So we all have good chemistry together. So it was a ton of fun, and I mean, he's an amazing, musician and producer. He did great. So it was just awesome to be able to have him.
Now, your band is very much classic progressive metal, but you also have a lot of the more modern elements in there. You've got some dirty vocals mixed in, and you've got the heavy riffing. So who are some of your most biggest influences musically as you were growing up? Well, aside from your dad, that is.
Well, I mean, obviously, I know you said besides my dad, but as all four of us, we all grew up with Dream Theater. I mean, Thomas, before he even knew us, he listened to that. But besides Dream Theater, Chris and I also grew up with Slipknot, and Slipknot's my favorite band, and I think it's one of Chris's favorite bands too. And they're really inspiring for me. I love everything that they do. Obviously, all of us have grown up with Metallica as well. We all love that. And a band that I love too that inspires me is Lamb of God.
Okay.
But so I guess those would be the main ones for me, I guess. But I mean, we all kind of love that kind of stuff as well.
Okay. Now, after listening to the record, you guys, for your age, you sound like you're such seasoned players, well beyond your years. So how old were you when you started playing the drums? And was it something that you always wanted to do?
Yeah, since I was, born, I've always just wanted to play drums from watching my dad.
Right.
That's just kind of something I instinctively went to, and thankfully it's something my parents could help me with. So, I mean, it's just since day one I've always wanted to do it, and thankfully it's, going well for me, and I have other kids that, have the same dreams as me, and we can, play together and start a successful band. So it's really a dream come true to be able to do that.
Do you have an early memory of maybe your first little drum set, maybe, or the first time Dad put the sticks in your hand?
I actually have my first drum kit downstairs. I don't practice on it, but I have it, in the closet. It's super tiny. It's my dad got it for me for Christmas. He actually got it for me and my sister, and he just kind of had it set up and just wanted to see which one of us lean towards the drums. And at first it was actually my sister, and she just kind of banged on it, but I was 2 at the time, so I didn't really know what was going on.
Right.
But, but once I got to 4 or 5, I actually, this is what I want to do, and I started playing it. It's a little Tama kit, and, I have it downstairs.
Oh, that's cool that you're able to keep it. Now, you guys are just going to be starting a fall tour. Could you tell us a little bit about that? Are you guys headlining, or are you opening for somebody? What's going on with that?
We have 2 tours. October, we're doing a tour with Fates Warning.
Okay.
We have some other kind of random shows before that show, that tour actually starts, but we're kind of calling it all one tour.
Okay.
We play with Fates Warning. We have 5 shows. We'll be in Detroit, a bunch of different places. It's going to be so much fun. We're opening for them, obviously. And then in November, we kind of are headlining our own tour with another local band called ADD. They're from this area. We're going to be going to upstate New York, Rochester, Buffalo. So that's going to be so much fun. I can't wait for that. That's November 10th through the 16th, I believe.
Okay. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Our website is based out of Buffalo, New York, so perhaps we'll get a chance to come and check out the show.
Yeah, awesome. I appreciate that so much.
Now, I know that your father was probably the biggest influence on you musically and as far as drumming goes, but aside from your dad, who is the drummer or a few drummers that influenced your work?
Besides my dad, my two all-time favorite drummers alongside of him, and people that inspired me are Joey Jordison and Chris Adler.
Okay.
I think that their drumming is so, genius and everything. I just love everything that they do. So they're huge inspiration for me. I got the honor to watch Chris Adler a couple months ago from behind his kid on the Summer's Last Band tour. It was one of the coolest things in the world. He was, amazing. He did everything perfectly. It was just so cool.
That's awesome. Now, I do have to say that for people who haven't checked out the new record, A Light in the Dark, and who don't really know much about Next to None, I will encourage them to do so. The record's impressive. It certainly doesn't sound like a bunch of teenage boys who are doing this, and I really can't wait to see what you guys are doing in the future. In 10 years, you're just going to blow the roof off of places, I believe.
Thank you so much. It means a lot.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us today. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Oh, absolutely.